Welcome to Datagate. After logging in, you're taken to the dashboard. This shows a summary of various aspects of your billing. For example, recent invoices and unprocessed usage. From some of these boards, you can drill down to get more information. For example, Rates Missing will take you to the Exceptions report, showing you which CDRs we didn't know how to price. You can correct them and reprocess from that screen. This is the main customer screen. It shows a list of customers that you can search. You can show inactive customers only, and the columns are customizable. You can choose which ones to display. Let's drill into this customer, C4 Network, and you can see this is the main customer master screen with the usual name, address, and other details. The Sites tab shows where there are multiple physical locations for this customer. Sites are used to ensure that taxes are calculated for the correct physical address, and they're also used if the customer wants a breakdown or a summary by site on their invoice. The Agreements tab shows which agreements are enabled for this customer. In Datagate, each agreement has an invoice per billing period, so typically one invoice per agreement per month. The Products tab shows your recurring monthly charges. They can be assigned to a site, which in the US in particular means the tax can be charged at the site's physical address. There are various settings for monthly charges, including what period the charges are for and whether they are billed in advance or arrears. It also shows the tax code, which tells the tax engine what type of charge it is. Again, in the US, this allows the taxes to be calculated correctly based on the type of charge and the location of the customer. If there's a bundle, in other words, a number of minutes included with this monthly charge, that would be shown here. Moving on to the Service Items tab, this screen is used to match a CDR record to a customer. Usually, the service item is a phone number, and you can see that here. There's some information about each phone number. The Assignments tab shows which rate cards are assigned to the customer. So this determines how the CDRs are priced. So those are the master records. The Usage tab shows you what has happened. This is the usage that's assigned to a customer for a particular date range. Let's choose a date range that has some usage in it. You can see this is a list of phone calls, from and to, the type of call. Some of these are within the state, intrastate, and some are from one state to another, interstate. This is US data. You can export the usage to a CSV file if you want. You can also change it to toll-free usage and again export to a CSV file. The Invoices tab shows you invoices that have been generated. So we're going to look at one of them, this one. We can download the PDF by clicking on the eye icon. You can see the usual heading and summary of charges at the top of the screen, some instructions to the customer, and more information about individual phone numbers by site in this case, along with their usage type, minutes, and dollar value. Then we've got a summary of the monthly charges, and at the bottom, these are all US taxes. We've got a heading and a subtitle there that can be exported to a CSV file for import into an accounting system. So we can get this level of detail into the accounting system. This is a US customer. We also use the same tax engine to generate an invoice for a Canadian customer, West Shore Supplies Limited. If we look at their invoice, this customer is based in British Columbia, and we've put a single monthly charge on it. You can see the $30 charge plus taxes. In Canada, it's got completely different taxes, federal goods and services tax and provincial sales tax. In British Columbia, there are two taxes that need to be assigned. The tax engine works that out based on the location of the customer. From here, we're going to go into a little bit more detail on the configuration. If this is enough detail for you, feel free to stop here. If you'd like to learn more, keep watching. Product Templates shows the master list of recurring or one-off charges. It contains your standard pricing as well as a tax code to tell the tax engine what type of charge this is. The rating menu shows how usage is priced. You can have multiple rate cards, meaning that customers can be charged different prices. This UK rate card might be a typical or standard rate card from the UK. Identified by a column coming in, this is how the CDR is identified when we receive it. We might get a code that comes in, assign a call type, and then set a price. In this case, there are prices for mobile calls, for example, answer phone calls, and then international pricing down here, which is marked up. In other words, doubled. If we go back to what might be a typical US rate card, we'll go into the records here. You can see we get some CDRs that are identified by call type: an outbound call to a toll-free number, a call within the state, intrastate, and a call from one state to another, interstate. If they're not identified as one of these, then we rate it based on the phone number that's called. If we sort it by that, you can see this is rating by phone number. Anything that starts with a particular prefix gets assigned this rate. Essentially, it just does it by phone number prefix. If we drill into one of these, just as an example, there are various different ways you can rate calls. We can see that there are combinations of minute rates here, a flat rate regardless of the duration of the call. You can do a markup, in other words, you've got a cost and you just want to double it. There are other options to round the number of seconds, to set a flag fall fee, or to set a number of seconds free before you start charging. So there are various options there. And the last thing we'll go into is bundles. We briefly touched on them earlier. This might be that included in the monthly charge, you get 10,000 minutes of US and Canada inbound and outbound. It's configured here in seconds, as you can see, so minutes multiplied by 60. It also shows the call types that are included in the bundle: inbound tolls, interstate, intrastate, and toll-free. If a call gets identified as an international call, it doesn't get included in this 10,000-minute bundle. So this is the master configuration of a bundle, and of course, you assign it to a monthly charge, which can then be assigned to a customer. So that's the quick rundown of Datagate. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to learn more or see how Datagate could fit into your billing workflow, feel free to reach out or book a demo with our team.